All praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Makar Kwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the elected nation of Israel. What you can see on the screen right now is an example, or several examples, I guess, of Israelites that are not going to look exactly like what the people of the 12 tribe sign look like, man. So what I gotta say is the 12 tribe sign, whether people want to scoff it or not, man, the 12 tribe sign, I believe, is correct, man. Right? I believe that the 12 tribe sign is correct. And the more information that comes out, you start seeing that all the people that are mentioned on the 12 tribe sign have got either stories passed down through oral tradition of them saying that they're the Israelites or that they're the chosen people, or they've got direct customs and ceremonies that are found in the scriptures, right? Or they straight out come and say, oh, my tribe really means this particular tribe from the Bible, right? And they've kept circumcision and they've did all of these things and they unmatched the curses, man. And despite what anybody else wants to try and say and scoff at the 12 tribe sign that the Hebrew Israelites have made, right from particular one west, where's their tribe sign? Where's their breakdown of which tribe's which then? Because what people are very good at doing is saying what ain't, but never saying what is, man. They can tell you to the blue in the face what ain't going on, right? But when it comes time to tell you what is going on, you'll notice that they ain't really got nothing to say, man. They'll just say, I don't like your breakdown of it. But what's your breakdown of it then? This is Tobit chapter 13 and verse 3. Confess him before the Gentiles, ye children of Israel, for he have scattered us among them, right? So the scriptures say that the word has to be confessed among the other nations because some of us are scattered among them. And that's why this statement is made in the scriptures also, right? Acts chapter 15 and verse 19. Wherefore my sentence is that we trouble not them which from among the Gentiles are turned to God, right? Because one of the traits of an Israelite anyway is that they're going to believe in the Most High Yahweh, right? In that they're going to believe in a God in general for starters, but then that they're going to believe in God, the God of the Bible, man, right? But believing in God in general is a clear sign that you are an Israelite, man. That is a sign of like a real belief. Even if your God that you're believing in is a fake God, right? The most zealous people for God in general in the world are going to be Israelites, man. That is a fact. And that's what's written in the scriptures. Romans chapter 10 and verse 1. Brethren, my heart's desire and prayer to God for Israel is that they might be saved. For I bear them record that they have a zeal of God, but not according to knowledge. So they'll believe in God, but they might believe in God in the wrong way. For they being ignorant of God's righteousness and going about to establish their own righteousness, have not submitted themselves unto the righteousness of God, right? Have not submitted themselves unto the righteousness of God, man. So they've gone about trying to worship their own gods, and yet they ain't about God in the right way, but yet they still believe in God, man. Now, let me go to this. In fact, let me read that last scripture. Verse 4, Romans chapter 10, verse 4, for Hamashiach is the end of the law of righteousness to everyone that believeth. So if you believe in Yahweh Shai, the law is no longer your righteousness. Yahweh Shai has now become your righteousness, even though you still would have to keep certain laws so that you don't become wicked and sin unto death. Because if the law is done away with, then that would mean that you're saying that you can sin unto death now. Here's several images of different people that are Israelites, man. They go to one of the tribes of the 12 tribes sign. They either got a father that's Negro, Latino, a Native American. These two guys, they've become popular. The Tate brothers, right? Their father is a so-called African American, right? Then you've got Cameron Diaz. I believe her father is a so-called Latino man, right? Probably from the tribe of Issachar or one of the other tribes of the Northern Kingdom. Excuse me. Here we got Ryan Giggs, right? That young boy there is Ryan Giggs, and that's Ryan Giggs' dad, right? Here we've got Stephen Graham, right? Some I think he's from Liverpool. His grandfather is a so-called black man. Here we've got Halsey, right? Her father is a so-called black man. Here we've got Jade Goody. That's her when she was young with her father right there. A light-skinned Israelite, which the world will call quadroon. That's what the world tries to call it, quadroon, man. So you know they've got their little terminologies in that. Now here's, look at this one. I don't even know who this is, but it says Carol Channing, born in 1921, was a Broadway star known for her performances in Gentlemen Prefer Blondes and Hello Dolly. When she learned something surprising about her heritage, her father, George Channing, had been a light-skinned black man. That's what she found out, man. So she's an Israelite, right? She would be an Israelite, unless, of course, going back further and further and further, way back, that there was somehow an Edomite in that. But I'm just taking it as to what it says there. Here we got this guy Derek Jeter, right? Now in this picture you can kind of see, oh yeah, you can clearly see he's an Israelite, and that's his father on the right hand side, right? You can kind of see, oh yeah, he's got the dark skin, but in this picture you can't see it as much, man. You can't tell as clearly when you look at this image, you know? You got this rapper Logic. There's several people, man, that these people are Israelites. You got Jessica Biels. Everyone knows this guy, right? You can clearly see it easier with him, though. Then you've got Naomi Osaka, right? You can see she's got the hair and all that, you know? She's got the hair that Israelite women that are not got a parent of another nation would want to have. But guess what? To all you Israelite women, don't get mad at her, because in the kingdom you're gonna have hair like this or greater, man. And if she starts being wicked, she's still under the curses too. So she'll get that hair curse same way as you got it, man. Then here was a funny one that I saw. Michael Fosberg, right? This guy, his father is a so-called light-skinned black man, right? His father, this guy here, Michael Fosberg. Now, if you look him up, you can kind of see it a bit more. But in this picture, he just looks like Mark Zuckerberg, man. Then you had this woman here, right? There's many people, man. You had this guy here. Let's read this one. Anatoly Broyard was born in New Orleans in 1920 to light-skinned black parents. Spent much of his childhood in a predominantly black Brooklyn neighborhood, and then crafted a carefully constructed image devoid of his ethnic heritage. So what he did is basically realize, man, we catch hell when we're coming under this so-called black terminology. So I'm going to try and blend off, right? I'm going to blend off and try and escape this. But he still wouldn't have been able to escape the curses anyway. And it's a beautiful point that I just brought out. Not saying like I'm some like special guy or nothing like that, but I was just thinking about this earlier, and I've brought it back into my mind again, that there's a lot of you people out there, man, that are really coons, man, right? A lot of you heathen looking Israelites, a lot of you Israelites that look like other nations are coons, really, man, and these sellouts to your own people, man, because you've tried to blend off and join into other communities and try and cast away the fact that you are an Israelite, man, to try and escape what hell you know that we go through. But yet you can't really escape it, man, because it's a spiritual curse. So you'll escape it in terms of being judged by your so-called skin color, right? So people aren't going to look at this guy and say, he's this and he's that based on his skin color. Yet you're still going to be under the curses, man. You ain't going to be able to, he wasn't able to escape it neither, right? He wasn't able to escape it neither. And there's a lot of people like that, man. There's a lot of people that they know really where their lineage goes back to, but because they think that so-called black people are black, or they think that so-called Latino people are just Latinos, or they think that so-called Native Americans are just Native Americans, and they don't realize that we're really Israelites. They're trying to not claim the heritage, man. But a lot of them in the time to come are going to be claiming this heritage when they really start to realize that these people are not Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, and are in fact the Israelites, man. And I already know that a lot of you people that I'm talking about, man, that are really coons hiding in other nations, man. Sellouts hiding in other nations, trying to blend off and make it like you don't know who you are, really, when you know who you are. So a lot of you, man, a lot of you have got the family photograph, man, and you've seen it, right? Whereas some Jakes that are on the 12 tribe sign, we ain't even seen pictures of our grandfather on our father's side, man. We ain't even seen that image. We ain't seen a great grandfather image, you know? But some of you tried to hide away and run from what your heritage is, man. And I was gonna say this: if they started offering reparations to Israelites, right, under the guise of, okay, we're going to start giving some of these black Africans reparations. Yeah. And a lot of you sellouts would come out the woodwork and want to claim it then, you know? You'd want to claim that so-called funky ass $225,000 that they're trying to push off on people, which ain't nothing, by the way. That ain't nowhere near enough. Then the amount that we need is a complete whole nation, and you going through the same things that we went through, man. You ain't gonna be able to buy this. Don't the scriptures say, shall you render me a recompense? And if you try and recompense me, I'm gonna give you your recompense back speedily. Meaning I ain't gonna receive that. Right? Now, here was an interesting one. This is Ronda Rousey's mom. Right? This is Ronda Rousey's mom. The UFC fighter Ronda Rousey's mom. Yeah? And when you go, this is a little bit of a Google search that I did on it. Right? It says, D. Mars is of partial Afro-Venezuelan descent. Right? Afro-Venezuelan descent. And is the granddaughter of Trinidadian physician Alfred E. Waddle, later one of the first black physicians in North America. He was raised in the small community of Alton, Illinois. So she's an Israelite, man. Now, I'm saying that because I saw this. I was gonna do it as a separate video, but I'll do it as a joint video, right? Because a lot of people, like a lot of parents, man, have got children that are heathens, man. So as you can see in this picture here, right? She's all got her arm around her mom's shoulder. She's got her mom around her arm around her mom's shoulder. The paparazzi guys come over and said, what are you doing? Like, he's doing his paparazzi thing or whatever. You know how they are. And she's saying, oh, I can't talk at the moment. I'm just with my family. And then her mom starts talking, and her mom is all lively or whatever. And her mom starts talking about about her heritage and her mom says that her grandfather, the mom says that her own grandfather was a black man. That's how she words it, man. Pretty much like that. And let me just say this as well. What it says here at the bottom, Ronda Rousey, I'm black. That's not said in this video. So if you decide to watch this video for yourself, that's not said in this video, by the way. And the video is what, 45 seconds? But as you can watch, let me just show you something quickly, man. She's got her arm around her mom right now, you can see. But as the information comes out of the mom saying that information, you notice how the arm ain't around the shoulder no more like that, man. When you watch the video, you'll see that she took her arm from around the mom's shoulder because she was kind of embarrassed, man, and she was thinking, man, I don't wanna lose everything that I got, man. Because they know that we catch hell, man. So a lot of them have tried to run away from being an Israelite because they're like, well, I don't want to catch hell. But then they'll have the nerve to think they can try and come and receive the blessings again when it's time to receive the blessings, man. And that's not how it works, because just being an Israelite among the heathen and you look like, oh, I look like a Chinese man, but I'm a Jake. That don't mean you're of the elect. You could still be a 2/3, man. You can still be a 2/3 wicked ass Israelite, man. That's gonna get jacked up. It's just your Chinese looking ass would still come back in the kingdom, or your Egyptian looking ass would still come back in the kingdom, right? Or your Japanese looking ass would still come back in the kingdom, man. But that don't mean that just because you look like one of the other nations that you're of the elect. You can still be a 2/3. And just looking like a Wesley Snipes, Deontay Wilder, or Shaft image, right? That don't make you of the elect neither. Because there's going to be some people that are of the elect from the people that, so lucky from the people that look like Israelites straight up, and those that don't look like Israelites, but they're all going to be Israelites. This is Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 45. Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee and pursue thee and overtake thee till thou be destroyed, because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of Yahweh thy power to keep his commandments and his statutes, which he command thee. So you can't run. You can't say, oh, I'm going to run and blend in with another nation and escape the curses. That ain't going to work. You're going to be under the curses, whether you like it or not. And here's one of the curses anyway. Because it's actually not a blessing to look like another nation. You're supposed to look like you're the nation that you belong to, man, to avoid confusion. Deuteronomy 28 and 64, and Yahweh shall scatter thee among all people from the one end of earth even unto the other, and there shalt thou serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone. So an Israelite that looks like a heathen has got his own trials and tribulations that they gotta go through, man. And we ain't supposed to add a burden to them because they don't look like what we look like, because we don't even really look like what we're supposed to look like either. Which let me explain why I'm saying that. Even we don't look like what we're really supposed to look like as Israelites. Yeah, let's go here. Philippians chapter 3 and verse 20. For our conversation is in heaven, from whence also we look for the Savior, the Lord Yahweh Shai HaMashiach, who shall change our vile body, that it may be fashioned like unto his glorious body, according to the working whereby he is able even to subdue all things unto himself. So we don't even look like the complete image of an Israelite yet ourselves, man. We're still waiting to be looking heavenlier than this. You know, we're still waiting to receive that second Adam image. You know, we received the image of the first Adam, which receives death, which is plagued in the mind. But we're waiting to receive the image of Adam that don't receive death. You know, we're waiting to receive the second Adam image, man. Just like how we've born the earthy, we're trying to bear the spiritual. Let me go to this. Revelation chapter 7 and verse 9. And after this I beheld, and lo, a great multitude which no man could number, of all nations and kindreds and people, stood before the throne and before the Lamb, clothed with white robes and palms in their hands. So when that great salvation comes, man, people are going to see something like this. All these different types of faces, scattering of all these different types of people. There's going to be people that look Chinese in there, people that look Japanese, people that look Mexican, people that look so-called African American, people that look Native American. There's going to be all these different faces and different scatterings in there. Yet all these people are going to be Israelites, just like how all these people have made claims that their grandfather is a so-called black man. There's going to be a whole nother group of people that their claim is that their grandfather on their father's side is a so-called Mexican man, right? And there's going to be another group of people that they're going to claim that their father is on their father's side is a so-called Native American man, which really are the Israelites, man. And there's going to be a whole bunch of people that are going to look completely different ways that all go back to Jacob, man. Right? Yet the bulk of them is obviously going to look like what Israelites naturally look like, which is so-called Negro, Latino, Native American images of different shades of brown. But yet there's going to be other people that don't fit that stereotype image, man. For example, this woman here, right? Or that woman there, or this woman here, or this woman here, Jessica Biels, right? Even really, this woman here, she could more likely pass. Well, she could, no, you know what? She could pass for a so-called black woman. But some people would think she's a so-called black woman, you know? They would. I ain't even going to say that. This woman here wouldn't, though. She wouldn't. Kamora Lee, she wouldn't, though. Would she? He definitely wouldn't. But then you'd be able to notice that he's an Israelite through talent, you know? This guy here, he tries to claim more the Samoan thing or the Hawaiian thing. I can't remember if he says Samoan or Hawaiian, you know? Then you got this here, right? That's the father. The top image is the father. The middle image is the man that you can see at the bottom here. And the right is the mom on the top image. And then when you go down to the bottom, the middle person is still the middle person. The left person is his woman. And the person on the right is his daughter, which just looks straight up like a so-called Caucasian child, man. Yet the father, the seed line that she goes back to is that man on the top left, who is a Israelite. And that's why really the way how to assess who's an Israelite and who ain't an Israelite right now in these times is ultimately through the true fishing of who's an Israelite. Because if you don't believe in the Lord anyway, and you ain't about the true doctrine, it don't really matter what your lineage is. in the coming times. It's gonna matter ultimately whether you receive the kingdom through death by pain, whether you receive it under everlasting shame and contempt. But it's not gonna really matter in terms of whether you receive it right now, and whether you get destroyed, man, and whether you're gonna take that karagma. This is Romans chapter 8 and verse 16. The Spirit itself bears witness with our spirit that we are the children of God. So among people like all of these people that you can see here, you're going to see things within them that shows that they're the sons of God, man. Like The Rock, he's got charisma. You know, these guys are charismatic too. She's charismatic. He's a skilled rapper. She's a skilled singer. She was a loudmouth. He's a talented sports star. Ryan Giggs was a talented sports star. She would have had her singing chops and her acting chops or whatever she would have had, you know? Like all these people would have had different skills. He's a talented movie maker. I believe he works in the movie industry. He's talented in that particular field, you know? This guy is a good actor, whatever. Everyone's going to have their own particular things to where it's going to have that term put on them of God-given talent, right? Whereas there's going to be some Israelites that don't necessarily have as much talent, but are still scattered Israelites. But there's going to be things within them that shows that they're Israelites too, like a belief in God in general. Right? And I think I've made the point, man. I'm going to end the lesson there. All praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the nation of Israel. Shalom.